Good afternoon. How are you? Welcome to FFTV with me, Francis Green. I'm just going to do a quick daily vibe live stream, obviously about the Copa America and Messi, Ronaldo, etc. All these things. But really do appreciate everyone popping in. I do want to just apologize because a couple of people thought that the Copa America was going to be on my channel, which originally it was. But then Curtis asked me to go on his channel. And I seen that Chris and a few other people, regulars in the chat, didn't quite know that I changed the thumbnail and stated that I was going on Curtis's channel. Now, the Euro final, me and Curtis are gonna do it again because last night's Copa America final, for whatever reason, got over 600,000 views. I think it's because everyone thought the game was live. So they come in and then they thought the game was live. But it managed to get 600,000 views, which is incredible. And obviously for Curtis's channel, completely blows his channel up, which is great for him. But me and Curtis are going to do another one tonight as well. We're going to do the Euro final. Last night, if you did tune in for last night, it was probably the first ever whispering quiet because our wives and children were asleep stream. But it was quite funny considering obviously he's gone and broke all his records 10 times over with the views. But it was very good banter. So today will be a little bit different. The one this evening will be a bit louder. You know, the family will be awake and obviously England are playing, so we can really go for it. So make sure you check out that on Curtis's channel tonight. We'll be live from about 7:30 speaking about the game. But firstly, thank you again for all the magnificent support that has been happening recently. The people from the beginning and the new subscribers, I really do appreciate it. And I just thought, obviously, rather than waiting to do the Euros later on today, I just thought we'd have some interaction, get some content out today. And obviously, as I know, because a lot of people, and I know a lot of you, you know, as soon as the notification comes up, you're straight in the chat and you are interacting with myself. So it's really good to see everyone is probably nervous and buzzing for today. People in the chat, I'm just going to go up. Obviously, Devon's popped in. Thanks ever so much, Devon. Big fist to you as well. Big up Tony, as always. Seen him in Curtis's stream as well. Great support. Hi, Fran. One thing I did enjoy last night was the old school tackling. Good job the referee was not English. It would have ended up a five-a-side. You know what? That was probably the highlight of the game for me last night. The fact that they were allowed to tackle and the ref allowed it, and he didn't get conned from all the diving and all that. And even when there were free kicks, the ref still didn't give him. I thought it was quality last night. I really enjoyed the game. It was a crazy one, obviously, till 3 a.m. in the morning. Says put good show with Curtis. Big up. Appreciate the support. Tony's also stated, spent half the morning explaining to my nephew those tackles were not even that bad and we're normal when used to play. They weren't even that bad, were they? They were just normal tackles. But some kids would be like, you can't do that. Big up, can I be a mod? Yeah, as soon as we start growing. I know we don't have a lot of comments at the moment, Devon, but you know, really do appreciate that. And you know, once we keep going, I imagine we're gonna get people mods in and that. So yeah, of course you can, mate, no problem. If you can send me a message on Twitter, it's at the bottom. I don't know if you can see it. I'm gonna just remove the Twitter if you're not following me. Franny Green 6, just at the bottom here, you can see it. Just drop me a message on Twitter and then we'll have a chat on there, mate. Says put Tony, you mean normal football? Yeah, exactly. It's just normal football. What's your thoughts on Robert Sanchez? I've not seen a lot of him, Lily, to be honest. I've got to be honest. I've not really seen a lot of him. So I couldn't really say too much, to be honest. Here's Chris. Yes, Chris, I've apologized for last night. Because I went back on this stream and I seen that you obviously thought it was on my channel, and originally it was. My apologies. I did change the thumbnail and state that I was going on Curtis's channel. So my apologies, Chris. My apologies, mate. Chris has put, still don't seem to be able to send a personal message to you. You don't publish an email address or PM box. I'll tell you what, so my email, if you want to email me now, because I'm not really, I don't think it's on my Twitter or anything like that. You're not on Twitter either, are you? So my email is just francisgreen05@gmail.com. So, you know, you can contact me via that if you're not on Twitter, or if you can't send me anything on YouTube. So my email is just normal francisgreen05 gmail.com. So yeah, be great. Send me anything you want, any questions, anything you want me to get involved with, and we'll have a more in-depth chat. But so my apologies, Chris, last night really is, like I said, tonight the Euros, we're going to do it again on Curtis's channel. Just because the interaction was crazy. A lot of people from our chat went in there as well, and we was having a little bit of banter and that, but today's going to be crazy. We know it's going to be crazy. I mean, last night was 600,000 views, obviously something to do with YouTube or whatever happening, and people thought it must have been a live Copa America final. I doubt it's going to be like that tonight, but the only thing is, obviously, because it's on Curtis's channel, he can't read all the comments out, which sometimes is a little bit, because I know my subscribers and my followers and our community sometimes want to ask more in-depth questions. So I apologize, but with it being the Euro final, history may be made. So we're probably going to do it on his channel. So obviously, for me, I really appreciate if you come over and drop your comments in. I know a lot of you are from Curtis's channel, but those of you who are not, I will make sure that I will state to Curtis that obviously Chris has made a comment, etc. has made a comment, and try and get up on the screen so we can go more in depth. But I think we'll all be sat there either biting the nails or jumping through the roof, to be honest, tonight. Devon, big up you on Curtis stream yesterday. Yeah, appreciate it. I mean, me and Curtis go back about 15 years. We're from the same area. Helped him out a little bit when it came to, getting trials and things like that. He's a good kid, but, and now he's getting me on his channel, and it's helping. Lena, the amount of views on Curtis show, wow, congrats. It was crazy. I think everyone, to be honest, I think it was one of those where most people, especially that side of the world, because everyone was international, a lot of them international last night. I think most people thought that the game was live because he got a lot of, obviously, thumbs down because they kept asking, when's the game coming on? When's the game coming on? So I think that's why. And then the algorithm of YouTube must have just gone through the roof. So great for Curtis, great for his channel, and obviously, it gets myself seen as well, which is always good. Harris King, Crypto Entertainment, that live stream last night was fire. The library watch along, the whispering watch along, in case our wives wake up. Lily, what's your thoughts on Harry Wilson to Brentford for 10 million? And you know what? I think that's a good move for him. I think 10 million is a kind of a good price. I think he's a very good player. We've seen when he went Bournemouth, etc., what kind of players, and Brentford will play some good football, and I think they'll do well. Whether they'll stay up, I'm just not sure whether they'll stay up. Tony's put, is it just me, but do sides like Brazil seem to have lost something? Their players seem a lot more average than they used to be. Yeah, I'm going to go on to that now. That's what we're going to speak about. We're going to speak about the Copa America, obviously Messi, etc., Di Maria, Neymar. Chris has put, do you have your own chat facility if you're doing a joint stream? I don't think you do. Maybe there is a way. I don't know if it's too technical. I'm not. If anyone in the chat knows that if I go on someone else's channel, can I still have a chat, maybe on a different screen? Then please let me know, because that would be really, really good. But I'm not sure whether you can do it, Chris. I'm really not. Yeah, it would be very good, because you could have different questions coming in, and it would be good. I mean, YouTube should have their own streaming platform, so you don't have to go via another streaming platform. And YouTube would just put everyone else out of business. I mean, it's a very simple platform for YouTube to, for YouTube to create, and then you just go through their platform. Vinicius is average 100%. Are you an Arsenal fan? Yeah, I'm an Arsenal fan. I think tonight's stream is both be hopefully a lot louder tonight. Yeah, it should be. Well, it depends who scores, Toad. But other promoted teams don't go with sit like Tony, Brentford, out and out striker who represented France. Yeah, I think Tony will do well. I'm just not sure it's a good idea for Tony to stay at Brentford, because a lot of people will be judging him when it comes to goals for Brentford. Remember when Pookie came up with Norwich, it was like, oh, well, he only scored 10 goals or whatever, but Pookie then goes Championship and he's top class. So it's a tough one for centre forwards. Who do you think is better, Saka or Mount? Completely different players, to be honest, Devon. I've got to be honest. Saka's very, very good. He's still raw, and Mount's very good, but it's just not quite happened for it to England. So we'll get back to the questions in a minute, and let's have a discussion about the Copa America. Last night, I've watched the quarterfinals and I've watched the semi-finals, but I thought we've got to do a live stream of this. I know a lot of people weren't up, especially UK time, but we thought we've got to get involved in this game, because for me as a kid, they were the two nations. They were the two nations that everyone used to speak about, all the football, the excitement, the freedom that they used to play. Argentina, not as much as Brazil, but the rivalry and the tackling, etc., was all about me, what I watched as a kid. So we had to watch last night's Copa final. I did go for, I wanted Messi to win, but I thought Brazil would win 2-1. I thought Brazil had a little bit more going forward, but it just wasn't to be. And the game, to be fair, the game in spells was boring. But for me, the highlight in game, and Tony said it as well, and Chris will appreciate this as well, the tackling was allowed. That's what I loved about the game. The tackling was allowed in the game. The referee allowed it. When Neymar got the ball, obviously he got surrounded by 4 or 5 Argentinian players. When Messi got the ball, as always, he gets surrounded by about 5 or 6 players. But they were really, really going in on Neymar. And what they were doing, I think Curtis was saying it last night, it seemed like they were taking turns on fouling him so that no one got more than a yellow card. And if that was true, then it's very, 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 very clever. And very, very tactical from the Argentines. But as for the game, I thought Brazil were the better team. Argentina, as we know, they've got, for me, the greatest player that I've ever seen. Maradona, obviously, Maradona or Messi is always going to be the argument. But we'll go into that, and we'll bring Ronaldo into the mix because he's always in the mix. But as for the game, I'm absolutely delighted that Messi's got an international trophy. Now, you will have people saying, "Oh, well, it was only the Copa." If he wins the World Cup, they'll say, "Well, it was only the World Cup." You know, you're always going to get that because you're going to get people who don't like him or don't want him to, etc. That's the way human race is at times. We're all guilty of doing that. But for me, it was a magnificent. Neymar was very, very good, but he couldn't really get into the game as much as he would like. He was the only threat for Brazil, really. And that then leads me on to what Tony was saying earlier about when I was younger, or even the R9, Ronaldinho, so maybe my 20s and my mid-20s, the Brazilian, the Roberto Carlos, the Cafus, the Rivaldos, even the Dungas, these players for Brazil, Robinho, Denilson, were exciting. They got you off your seat. You wanted to see the golden, the yellow and green jerseys. Everyone, it's an iconic shirt. So is Argentina's. But Brazil always had flair. They always played football with a smile on the face. They always played football like they're playing in the park. And that goes back to the favelas, that they had a culture of football in the townships and etc. in Brazil and the slums. And that's where all the great footballers come from. What you've seen recently is, and I've seen it. I don't know if I read it or I've seen a documentary about how football's changed around the world. As we know, look at England, where our attributes are actually drained from us, which I don't understand. To not work on, to concentrate on your weaknesses. When for me, forget your weaknesses. Just build your strengths that good that no one can touch you, and your weaknesses don't matter. But I think with Brazil, they've stopped producing these players because they've taken the freedom away from them. There's only Neymar who really, really does it. But it seems that they've taken that enjoyment, that freestyle away from the football. And you've seen them last night. They were better than Argentina going forward, but there was no one doing any Brazilian stuff. There was no interplay. There was no great play. There was nothing really. And for me, that was very disappointing. Brazil, they're not going to win a World Cup anytime soon. I don't think. I think some European teams are stronger than them on the ball, which is strange to see for me over the last probably 5, 6, 8 years. Brazil have really, really lost the way, and they only have Neymar. And Neymar, if you watched the game last night, I feel sorry for him because he is streets, waves above anyone else in the Brazilian squad, and he'll play a pass, and they're just not on the same wavelength. It's unbelievable for me. It really is unbelievable. But it was a great game. The tackling for me was superb. It was allowed. Messi gets kicked every game, just gets up, never moans. He has a little bit, never really cries. He's just used to getting smashed. That's what makes him the greatest for me. He never reacts. Maradona was it probably exactly the same, reacted a little bit more. But I honestly, truly think that Messi throughout his career has just based himself on Maradona because they're so similar. That's why I think he must have just based himself on Maradona, because the similarities are uncanny. It's crazy. But for me, unbelievable. He's got the international trophy. He's finally done it. And I don't know if you see in the game, but the celebrations at the end of the game when the final whistle went, Messi's dropped to his knees, and every single Argentine player, staff member ran to Messi. I mean, it was, for me, it was a moment. They ran to, not the manager, they ran to Messi, and they were throwing Messi in the air. Like, he's king. He's king and king. And for me, it was just unbelievable. Not one of the players thought about themselves. All they thought about was Messi, because they know he needs this to, you know, silence the critics who think you have to win an international tournament to be the best in the world. But I think it was unbelievable. So I'm going to go back to the comments, and then we'll go into what you think the game was about last night, if you've not recovered it, and your reasons why you do or don't think Messi is the greatest player ever, you know. Let's have a look. Where are we there? So we've done to that. Vinicius. So Lily's put Saka or Sancho. You know what? Saka at the moment, because he's done it in the Premier League for half a season. Ask me at the end of this season whether Sancho does it for Man United, and then we'll see. Sancho's a little bit cleaner when it comes to taking people on. Saka, for me, is a little bit more direct. Devon, who do you think is the best player to play in the Premier League? That's tough. That's tough. I'm probably going to go Thierry Henry for me. There's a few, but I would say Thierry Henry. That's interesting. Let me know anyone else's thoughts. Who's your best Premier League ever player? Mine's probably Thierry Henry. Craig, thanks ever so much. I know you popped in yesterday on the other stream as well. Unbelievable. Big up, Franny. What a player Messi is. I will never see a footballer like him ever again. I don't think we will. I tell you what, I was saying last night, I don't think we will see another footballer like Messi for maybe 30 to 40 years. Because it's not going to be one of those where you get a player and he's coached to be like Messi. Messi's been like Messi since forever. You watch the games at like 13, 14. He was doing exactly the same thing. Always on his left, always dribbling past people, always doing 1-2s, not an out-and-out striker. And all they've said to Messi is, work hard and just go and do it. He's that talented. Work hard and go and do it. And like you say, Maradona, was the same. Saka on the unicorn. Yeah, no, I knew that would make all the papers. Would you take Mabambu as Arsenal right back? I think I would. I think I would, the way that we are at the moment. I think I would. My comments don't show up on Curtis' show. I'll mention that if I remember, I'll mention that, Lily. Chris has put Isco for Real Madrid dirt cheap, but past his best and wants high wages. Arsenal also offering Maddison doubling wages at Leicester. Yeah, so like you say, even though we speak about Copa, I'm always here to interact, and we always speak about other subjects. And that's a good point, Chris, when it comes to Isco. Isco, for me, has been he's underachieved. The amount of ability that he has had, he's very, very, for me, being comfortable, and he's just underachieved. And like you say, he's going to be cheap, but he's going to want mad wages. And is he the type of player that we need to get into Arsenal to get to get us back on that conveyor belt and gets where we need to go? I'm not too sure, but you know, Arteta with the Spanish, you never know. And as for the Maddison to double his wages, one, I can see what they're saying. They really want him. They're showing that they really want him. They're showing intent that they really want him, and that's good for the players' point of view. Saying, "Whoa, you know what? They really, really want me." And he would be a great signing for me. He'd be a great signing. We've seen how good he can be for Leicester. He's, whatever reason, behind the scenes, he's fell out a little bit with Brendan Rodgers, it thinks, etc. But for me, I think it would be a great signing. I'm not sure what he's on at Leicester. Probably 60, 70, would you say? So, you know, it sounds crazy that we're talking about 100 grand, 100 plus grand a week here. It's kind of like, not norm, but it's nearly the norm in the Premier League at the moment. It's absolutely unbelievable. But for me, if we can get him, I think it'll be a very good signing. It's just how much would the signing fee be? That's the problem. I don't think he's going to go for less than 65, 70 million. Tony's put, we have agreed to disagree, but still Maradona the best ever for me. And listen, that argument, I fully get that. there's no facts in that. There's no nothing. I fully get when people say Maradona and Messi, because you know what? Sometimes I'm nearly Maradona and sometimes I'm Messi, honestly, because I thought Maradona was just unbelievable. He was the first super footballer that I'd ever seen, and I could not believe it. I remember watching Pele videos, so I fully get that. The argument I don't get is, well, I do get it, but for me, it has no ground, is the Ronaldo and Messi. I get that because they're the two best, but for me, Ronaldo is this level and Messi is that level, the iconic greatest that ever lived level. And everything that he does tells you. And I think a lot of people, the reason they have this thing is down to being biased, personalities of people, maybe the way a player looks or a player talks. Because if you break it down and you have a look at both players, one is just an extreme, unbelievable goal scorer, which is Cristiano Ronaldo. The other is an extreme goal scorer and the complete footballer who could play in any position. And what he does with a football, for me, is nothing short than miracle. And that miracle. Ronaldinho would have been the best ever if he had the attitude and the willingness to become the best ever, but he didn't want to be the best ever. Ronaldo, Brazilians, a lot of Brazilians just relax when they do whatever. But Ronaldinho, even Messi said, Ronaldinho, the best player he's ever played with, ever seen in his life. But he just didn't have that level to go on, which only a small few select do, don't they, in the world? Only a very small few do. Chris's book, Madison is only 24, so it might be okay. If he's late 20s or 30s like Abba, you don't tempt these players with a fortune. They stop playing. They know they want to have to impress for future clubs. Bang on. When a player gets to 29, 30, 31, the chances are all he's thinking about is setting the rest of his life up. And as much as you might think they're already millionaires, but you know, as we all know, you live to your means. You know, I know some people who are minted, but because they've got everything that lives to their means, they never have no cash around them, or they never can afford things. And you're thinking, wait a minute, you're nearly a millionaire, but it's got 4 or 5 cars and 2 houses and a holiday home. And footballers are exactly the same. You know, they spend exactly what, you know, and a lot of them live above their means. So exactly a great point. Players, and I can tell you from experience, around about 30, all you're looking around is where can I earn a few quid and I can last in the game for another 3 or 4 years and then leave it from there. So yeah, mid-20s, good age. Very, very good age. Let me go back up because we've got a few comments. I try and go through all comments. The day where it comes where I can't read everyone's comments out, I mean, it's going to do my head in that, because we'll be on the show for 3 hours. But unfortunately, the more popular the channel gets, you can't read all the comments out. But while we're all here and I can read all the comments out, I will do that. Harris says, Harris, thanks for coming in, mate. He has put, can Argentina win the World Cup? No, I can't see it, Harris, to be honest. I really can't. I just don't think they're strong enough. I don't think they're strong enough. And all a team has to do is really, really keep Argentina quiet. Di Maria, as we know, for me, is underrated. He was good in spells at Man United, but couldn't settle. Madrid, PSG, Argentina. He's fantastic. Di Maria is one of my favorite players. He's fantastic, I think. Tony's, I was tired, so I might have been dreaming, but I'm sure the players were giving Messi the bumps. Yeah, I couldn't believe it. He dropped to his knees, and every single player ran to Messi to celebrate Messi, and they started bumping him in the air because they know how much it means. For me, it was iconic to see. It's normally the manager. It was just iconic because he's Mr. Argentina. He is a god, and it was unbelievable to see. Duke T's put Henry in terms of performance. Well, Henry for me is like you say, he's my best Premier League player, and there's been some good ones, but for him, he's my best Premier League player. Thierry Henry, 100%. For me, anyway. Dupes Tees agrees. Chris put Messi is more complete player than Maradona. He's not an idiot on the pitch. He's not a selfish idiot off the pitch. A better human being. Yeah, 100%. He's a lot better. I think he's been with his wife or his wife now since they were like 16, 17. You really, really see him in the limelight. He's a very, 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 very good professional. And like you say, he's just a very, very, seems to be a very nice human being. And that's a very rare quality in society. And not just today, in society, in the history of mankind. Thierry was the best Premier League player without a doubt. It seems like a lot of people are saying Thierry. Ashton's put big up Franny. Thanks for popping in, Ashton. Really appreciate it. I couldn't watch last night's game, but the GOAT is very subjective. For me, Ronaldinho will forever be my greatest ever footballer, but I get Messi argument. Yeah, Ronaldinho was probably the best footballer, even Messi said, talent-wise, anyone's ever seen. But to be the best, you've got to be consistent. You've got to do it for longevity. And, you know, Messi's probably going to go on and win the record 7th Ballon d'Or. And I don't think Ronaldo's going to catch him. And for me, and everything lines up for me. To be the greatest, you've got to do everything that Messi does. And you can't pick you can't pick where you're born. I get that argument. But Ronaldinho, unbelievable player. Most naturally gifted player, but well, not even naturally gifted, because a lot of players are naturally gifted, especially Messi. But to play the way Ronaldinho does is a one-off. It's a one-off. You don't see many like him. Like Messi, you don't see many. CS put Di Maria scores a goal, and now people are praising Messi like no tomorrow. Hey, listen, you've got to praise him. Di Maria is a pivotal part of that Argentine team. I think he's fantastic, but Messi had to win this international to get these people who use this excuse that you can't be the world's best ever without winning international. He's done it now. And some people will say it's only the Copa America, it's not the World Cup. I also get that argument. But we can't keep moving the goalpost. You can't keep moving the goalpost. What it meant to Messi more than any other player, and they know the burden and the pressure that he carries on his shoulders from Argentina. Remember, he's quit once because he couldn't deal with the pressure, and then I think he quickly realized that he can't do that. He's come back, and obviously he's won that. But like you say, Di Maria, unbelievable. But it has to be all about Messi. Come on now, it has to be. Chris has put, many will argue that his football that matters, but your personality affects how you hold yourself on the pitch when stuff is going right. Well, Chris, this is a good point, you know. And the reason this is a good point, because when I was playing, I thought that it was only what I did on a football pitch. And I couldn't get my head around getting an 8 from the manager and in the paper and then being subbed the next game. I couldn't get my head around why, if I was doing better on a football pitch or working harder on a football pitch than someone else, they would sometimes be ahead of me. And it's only when I quickly realized that you have to fit a mold, and the football mold, if you're not part of the football mold, which is part of being off the pitch, then you don't get the same perks as someone who's going to follow the football mold. And it, like you say, personality, mindset, persona is more than actually your ability. You need the personality, you need the mindset, you need the persona, you need the control of emotions more than you do talent to be a footballer. Now, obviously, when you're the world's greatest, you need a combination of every element. And that's why now, like you say, Maradona didn't have the mindset, didn't have the ability to control himself. Messi does have, and that's why I think, like you say, he's gone on to be the greatest. Ashton, as a German fan, yes, when I heard Di Maria was absent for the 2014 World Cup, I was celebrating because I knew he would win. Di Maria is underrated. Di Maria is very, very, very good. Unbelievable, to be fair, especially, and every team he's played for, you've just seen spells of what he's done. Worst free kick in the Premier League has to be Robert Hoof. Duke T's put, it's because Messi is not good looking as Ronaldo and does not have the character like him. It shouldn't even be a debate. Yeah, well, we had that with Paul Scholes, because Paul Scholes was a little pale ginger kid, didn't get the recognition, but the Brazilians said he's a closest thing to be playing in the Brazilian squad. And that's the thing we had with Paul Scholes. Some people don't rate Paul Scholes, and I'm like, oh, how can you not rate Paul Scholes? But it's all to do with media. It's all to do with how you look, etc. To be fair, Di Maria is underrated. Oh, Di Maria is frightening. When Messi retired from international football in 2016, I always lost all my respect for him. Yeah, I don't know what. I think he did that just to do with pressure. I think he just did it. It was pressure. South Americans, we know it can be violent, death threats, kidnaps, etc. with your family. But yeah, he's come back, and it's good to see. What do you think of the McGregor fight? Well, he's lost again, hasn't he? Regardless, he's lost again. But I tell you what, I looked at the replay, and for me, he's just stepped back. I wonder during the fight, because I didn't watch the fight, if he's fractured it. Portier or Poirier or whatever, because they do the kickboxing kicks, don't they? The Muay Thai kicks down the shins. I'm wondering if during that fight, as he fractured and cracked that bone already, so it's cracked, and then when he's gone back with his weight and he's tired, it's then completely snapped. But he's lost again, and McGregor needs to, McGregor was all about the acting, the big, I don't like it. I can't stand the way that he is for the cameras. He might be a great guy, but he's done some things that would show that he's not a great guy. And he's now lost the trilogy. So I wonder what happened. For me, he needs to think about now going into something else. He's made an absolute fortune. He's set for life. Maybe another passion of what he's got, maybe go into something else. But he's the type of character that could completely lose his head and do something crazy. Joe, thanks for popping in. He's put Brazil is trash and Neymar is not all that. Don't get me wrong. Like, we don't speak about Neymar enough. Neymar is world-class footballer. And I also do think that the way that he is works against him as well. But you can't doubt his talent. I mean, last night his talent showed for fun. There just no one else was on the same wavelength. But I like Neymar. I just can see why people don't like him because of the way that he is, persona, etc., away from the pitch. Rayan, thanks for popping in. Big FG, hope you're well. Messi ain't the greatest in my opinion. Let me tell you why. He scores against all the lesser competition, but can't do it in the biggest stage against Brazil. Much love the bro. I get that point, but I can't judge players just on games against the big ones. It's like Ronaldo. You say Ronaldo is a big game player. Doesn't make him better than Messi because he's a big game player. Some players are better in big games, but you've got to remember, when you watch a team play against Ronaldo, they don't put 4 men on him. When you watch a team play against Messi, he has at least 3 to 4 players around him every single time anyone gets a chance to get around him. So I get your point. But, like you say, for me, if you come to me and say Maradona, compare Maradona and Messi, I get it. But if you come to me with Ronaldo, which you haven't, but I'm just saying, if anyone comes to me with Ronaldo, then I think it's just down to you being biased and the personalities. Do you get paid from YouTube? No, I don't get paid. Obviously, we've only been doing it about 6-7 months now. For me, I'm doing it, and I'll tell you quickly why I'm doing this. I was a professional footballer for a long time. I went in to be an agent, and then I fell out of love with football quite early when I retired, and I retired too early. I retired about 31 from full-time. And I fell out of love with football because the politics behind football, not the game, the politics behind it. And I spent a couple of years doing agent work. I was also a teacher. And then recently I went to Dubai for a couple of years. But while I was in Dubai, half my family was here. And I realized that I was missing something from my life. And it was that competitive edge of sports. And it was football. So I spoke to a couple of friends and they said, listen, come back to England, set up shop for a couple of years, and you can go and live in Europe or do whatever. Start the YouTube because you've been telling everyone else to do YouTube. Not many people do it who've been played at the level that I have, and just interact with people, give your knowledge because it's going to be different from your traditional YouTuber. And that's why I did it. And I've got my love back for football. Thanks to everyone in the chat. Let's be honest, because it doesn't work with everyone in the chat. So I've got my love back for the football. I'm back on the radio in the championship next year. So that's why I do YouTube. I do YouTube because I love talking football. It's been my life forever and always will be. So good question. Good question. Whereas, but everyone slander Ronaldo for the same performance as Messi in the Copa America, aka European campaign, which everyone already slanders him for. Problem is Ronaldo is all about him. It's all about the glam. It's all about me. It's all about, if someone don't pass to him, throws his hands in the air. He's a very selfish individual, and you have to be selfish to get to the top level. But he's still not as good a footballer as Messi. He can't do what Messi can do. Can he score goals? Yeah. Can he get the ball on the halfway line and take 5-6 players on at top level? No. He can't do that. That's the difference. Joe, bad mistake by Edison in the goal. Yeah, it weren't the best. He came out. Would you take Douglas Luiz at Arsenal? I think I would. I like him. I think I would. I think I miss it. I might not be able to, yeah, let me catch up. Ryan's put Copa America as a Carabao Cup of international tournaments. Nah, it's the same as the Euros. Look how bad the Euros is. With all due respect, Fred and most of the players last night hardly had any of what would have made Brazilian side. That's what Tony's saying. 100% agree. Tony's saying that Fred and them lot won't get it. No chance. Nate's popped in. Nathan said Messi should get praised. He was player of the tournament, scored the most goals in the tournament, and he won the award of most assists. Massive impact, and big up Di Maria for the winner. I know people are forgetting that. He's player of the tournament. He got most assists, most goals. I want also to make 3 signings. Almo as 10 Douglas Luiz next party, and Bama's right back. Almo was quite good. I liked him. I thought he was good. Mbappe's cross versus France is why I want him in Arsenal. Very energetic player and very good. I think he'd do well at Arsenal. I don't think he'd be expensive either. Guys, please remind Curtis to look up some of our comments from other channel. Some of us have a few creative and comical comments to make, not the usual run-of-the-mill comments during the stream. Yeah, I will, Chris, 100%. As soon as I see your name in there, and I'll tell him to look out for certain names as well. So 100% on that one, 100%. Ryan's put Neymar's out here doing strip poker adverts. I like Neymar though. I got to admit, I do like him, but he's just a money machine, isn't he? Fun fact: Messi had scored the most goals in the finals with 31 goals. Wow, facts are facts. Can't lie, I don't think either Ronaldo or Messi are the GOAT. It's Ronaldinho for me, but the only thing that puts a huge mark on him is part of my personality. Listen, Ronaldinho was the best footballer. Okay. Even Messi said it, but he just didn't have the mentality and the willingness and the heart to be the best, unfortunately. He won it once. I was living in Dubai. I may move. Dubai was very, very good. It's expensive. It's very hot. It's very clean. There's no homelessness, no litter, no tramp, no tramps like on the streets, no stray pets. It's like the Truman Show. If you ever watched that, it's like a perfect place. Everything's flamboyant. It's a magnificent place for your children to see. The lifestyle is great. Restaurants, outdoor pools, warm seas, fresh beaches. Sounds like heaven. However, I've got children here as well from a previous, so I miss them. And you always have that little bit if something was to happen. My nan passed away while I was out there. We managed to get back, and my nan brought me up. And also sustainability. It's very expensive. You need probably, with a child, 50, 60 grand a year. It is tax-free, and that's doable. Definitely worth experiencing it, even if you went on holiday and if you wanted to go and live for a couple of years. It's a magnificent place, and it's the best thing I ever did. It's allowed me to come back and do YouTube kind of full-time and do some little bits on the side. So, yeah, definitely worth your while. If you've got, I always say to people, if you've got an opportunity to travel and live in other countries, then go and do it, because we're not here for long. We're not here for long. Messi, clear, Maradona, not even close. Opinions, like you say, I think Messi and Maradona will always be the argument for me. FG, you've honestly motivated me to reconsider a career in coaching, football management. So if I ever get at any level, I'd take you as my number 2 or mentor at the very least. Mentor is a thing that they should have more in football. It's one thing that a business idea that I had of setting up a mindset coaching school for young footballers going into clubs and etc., and concentrating on the self-development and mindset. But football clubs don't really take it that serious. They just might say the odd psychologist, but they don't really go into it, because footballers can be hard work to break down. But if you love football, the only reason I won't go into coaching is because my philosophies may not be accepted across the board, and I would want to have a project that I was in control of, because I like to work for myself. But yeah, I mean, if you love football, then I think you should pursue career in something that you like, because we live in a world where you can get information in the tap of a button via YouTube, or you can get audio books that you couldn't get before. You can get books off Amazon delivered the same day. there's no excuse really for you to not chase what you want to chase. And I'm 41 and I've just started new stuff, and I'll start new stuff at 50 and I'll start new stuff at 60. And you're very young, Rayan. So concentrate on what you're doing, because I know you're doing well with your degrees, etc. But also, if you can, coaching would be good. It is expensive, but I believe it's cheaper in other countries as well. So, don't let the fees put you off if that's what you want to do. Ash just put, Maradona did go from Barca to Napoli, where second division of Italy, winning Serie A the season. Yep, and that's always his legacy. He was Mr. Napoli. I think the difference is Messi has more natural talent and Ronaldo has worked more to rise to that level. 100%. Messi, Ronaldo has had to put serious commitment and sacrifice in to get to the level that he's had to get to. Duke T's put, Frank, not gonna lie, Curtis is gonna be paid good. The stream good last night. I know, it was crazy. He said this morning, because Fran, I think I'm gonna make some money off this video. I was like, all right, nice. 603. I think it's gone up to 605k. Listen, I don't even know how YouTube monetization works, because we're not nowhere near that. So Lillian and Rayma, I know you can get super chat. I mean, someone in the super chat put £50 in last night in his super chat, which was crazy. But if you put the work in, then I think it's only right that you get rewarded. So my comments don't show up at Curtis' show. I think we've passed that one already. Ronaldinho's problem was his teeth was always offside. Chris, next spot speaking to right. Does Eder ever get the credit he warrants for scoring a winning goal? No, he doesn't. People make it all about Ronaldo, so I don't know what slander he gets, but fear. Yeah, of course. He's like England. Harry Kane's on the front of every newspaper, and Sterling's been the best player. It's just media for this media. Ed was quite a player at Prague. He was underrated. Curtis is going to get paid. Yeah, I've seen that one, been that one. Great stream, bro. Appreciate it, Craig. As always, the support. Tony, another one who always support when Maradona played in Italy, when it was a tough place to play. Spanish league is a lot softer. Yeah, when they played, it was very hard. The defending was very, very hard. What's your thoughts on Harvey Barnes and James Justin before we're injured of current form? Did they deserve to get in the England team? I think James Justin was going to have a squeeze. Obviously, he's got a lot of people ahead of him. And Harvey Barnes is a very good player as well. I like both. Pity that they got injured. FG, you could set up your own grassroots football team like AFTV, GB, Aranji that, and the Wall FC. You know what? The only thing with that, Rayan, is time consuming. The only thing with that is time consuming, and I'm the type of man that may want to go and live in Europe, may want to go and live in another country in 12 months, 24 months, 36 months. So it's kind of hard for me to kind of sit down and say, right, I want to do that. What I can do with YouTube, what I can do with trading, what I can do with podcasts, even certain times with broadcasting, even if I live in a France or a Germany or a Portugal or Spain, I can get on a plane once every 2-3 weeks because it's quite cheap, especially when we can go traveling, and do it that way. But I wouldn't be able to kind of do that with the football team, because there's so many ideas when it comes to football. The setting up an academy, and then you get a teacher on board, and the government pay you to produce kids, and they give them a sports degree, and then they can go on and implement trials on football clubs. All these things that are very, very good ideas, but I kind of like the idea of freedom, and I think big things can kind of keep you, trapped in, and I don't like that feeling. I really don't. Have you been to London, and how is it? Yeah, London a lot. My family live in London. Been in London a lot. Really love it. Obviously, we have this problem with crime in London, and it can be quite a scary place at times. But overall, London's a fantastic city. Messi is definitely up there with the Peles, Maradonas, and Ronaldinhos. Whether he's better than those players is another debate, but he's one of the best I've ever seen. Yeah, for me, there's only one player questionable on that level, and that's Maradona for me. Yes, team players, more Ronaldo got lazy. Yeah, Ronaldo's a little bit older as well, so he's had to adapt his game. YouTube like to accept advertising. That's when the money starts rolling. Yeah, I think you have to get over 1,000 subscribers. I think we're on 720 now, which is quite good. Hopefully after tonight, we might get around about 750 to the 800. We get to 1,000, and then we can start, getting some adverts. We can have super chats. So if anyone's ever generous, and things like that. I know if people bring merch out and things like that, but I might bring a little sports line out so you can get to the gym and get running. little things like that build a community, and we never know where it might take us, do we? We never know where it might take. We start it because we love it. We start it to bring content. We start it to build friends and build communities, because we do work from home and we are cocooned in a lot of our own space and environment. It's good to get other people's opinions and then give people knowledge and advice, and also take knowledge and advice back as well, which really, really helps. So yeah, we will see, Chris. We will see. Would you ever do a boxing watch along? I like boxing, but I'm not massive on boxing, you know, but I do like boxing. But it is something that as you grow, you know, people want different things. So rather than just the same stuff, you do need to add different things, add shows and add different things to your channel. So it is, you know, if the demand's for it, then we could work it on an experiment and see where we go. Any financial advice for a 21-year-old? Well, me, I'm going to tell you that now. Shocking with money. I'm only better now because I've had to read. And this best advice I can give you, the intelligent investor. Also, as old ones will tell you in there, put your money into assets that grow. Don't buy the flash car to get the girls. Don't buy the flash designer the clothes to get the girls. Don't pop bottles in clubs to get attention. If you can, pay yourself first every time you get paid, and that means putting it in investment. Try and get some properties. Try and get some things that are going to give you, and by the time you're my age, you'll be a millionaire. It's very easy if you learn very young. I'm only just learning now, but hopefully I live long enough to see the rewards on a larger scale. But the best advice for me is always pay yourself, but don't buy things that you don't really need, because trust me, you don't need the designer clothes. You don't need the flash car if you can't afford it. You don't need it. And read financial books. Read books on areas that that you want to impress in, or get better, should I say. James Justin injured. Who would have made it? If Justin wasn't, yeah, he definitely would have made it. I think good player. Do you know #United? I've seen them. Yeah, they do really well. Enrahab TV has put, hello, Fran. I do check my channel out. Love your content, by the way. I'll go and check it out. Everyone else, check it out as well. Really do appreciate you popping in. It's a new one, so I imagine you've subscribed. If not, by the way, if anyone's not subscribed, make sure you hit the subscribe button and give us a like, because that's the fee. That's the fee for the content. Just give us a like. It really helps. When the membership comes in, I'll subscribe. Yeah, I mean, the membership for me, once we get to a certain level, it's all about compounding effect, and we go on the journey all together. And the membership thing, then for me, I've got a few ideas, membership packages, little goodie boxes, exclusive stuff. But the exclusive stuff's got to be exclusive. You've got to try and have exclusive videos, one-on-one things, exclusive content, things like that. So the bigger that we get, the busier that we get, the more we can do that. So appreciate Rayan, really do. Tony says, but do you think England will start the same start 11 as Denmark game? Well, I definitely think the back seven will be the same. I think they will, yeah. I can't see him changing. I think Saka will play, Kane, Sterling. I think Mount Phillips, and Rice, and then, the back lads at the back. So I think we're going to see the same team. I really do. Del J, another new name popping in the chat. Really do appreciate it, Del. Is it mandatory to debate greatest of all time? Messi has won multiple Player of the Year awards. Pele, Maradona, etc. Played in other era. Enough said. Yeah, I think we only do it because it's a reference. I think people only do it because it's a reference. But you have a point. Completely different era, completely different style of play, completely different society. So I get your point. Roy Morris, thanks for popping in. He's come good. I think I got a new subscriber, so make sure you hit that subscribe button if not. And Roy has put, I rate Garrincha. He carried Brazil in the World Cup when Pele was injured. Yeah, that's for all the young ones. They won't know who Garrincha is. So good player, and obviously your Zicos and things like that. But there's always unsung heroes, isn't there? Nace put, FG, what would your all-time five-a-side team be? Wow, all-time five-a-side. So quickly, it would be who's a nimble Casillas in goal, because it's a five-a-side. I think Buffon and Schmeichel would be too big for five-a-side goals, so they won't be able to get down. So I'm going to go Casillas for my five-a-side goal. I'm going to go for, I need a ball playing centre off. I'm going to go for five-a-side all Thiago Silva as at the back. I'm going to then go for Ronaldinho, Messi, Zidane, and R9. Is that 5 or 6? Anyway, there's my team. Not really fond of defending, as you've known. Thiago Silva can do defending. That's enough. Do you know Forex trading and how can you become a millionaire? I did used to do Forex. Doesn't move as much as crypto. So now I do crypto. And there's many people in the community that I'm in who have turned 10,000 into 500,000 and 30,000 into 1 million. But it's very, very hard. Yesterday I lost some money yesterday. I'm trading. It's a psychological thing. It's easy to get involved. But if you don't learn the skills, you'll just gamble your money away and you'll class as gambling. You need to learn technical analysis. You need to get hold of your emotions. So you need to read a lot of books. Those in the chat already know that I practice stoicism, stoic. I try and live a stoic way, which is good for the mind. And you'll need that for trading or anything that you want to do, really. Bang, bang. Thanks for popping in. Cheers. Thanks, mate. Also, what was the best and worst part of being a professional footballer? Good question. Best part, living your dream. Getting the attention, signing autographs. I had to play a charity game the other week and I signed the autographs. And all my daughters, they can't remember because they were young that I used to sign autographs. And it gave me that buzz back. But signing autographs, people shouting your name, you being able to put a smile on people's faces, knowing you're living your dream is the best part. The bad part is you're isolated, you're cocooned into a way of living, you're stereotyped, and you have to be a certain way to go far in football. And there's a lot of politics involved, which a lot of people will probably mention. Brown Support, been here since 50 subs. Love the journey and the growth. Have you been? Yes, you have been here very early. A lot of you have been here since early, which has been great. If you failed GCSEs, does it affect you in the future? My advice, and this is what I'd say, my children, depends on which route you want to go. If you want to be an entrepreneur, if you want to work from home, if you want businesses, if you want to work from yourself, obviously GCSEs are not going to really be important to you. However, you still have to have the willingness to want to work hard and become something. And that's why only a few select ever really, really live their dream. So my advice to you is, if you're in it, give it your best shot. And then the next stage will come. There's nothing wrong with giving it your best shot. And then the next stage will come. But will it define your life? No, it won't define your life. So don't pressure yourself too much. Sibon's put funny stream with Curtis last night. I'm glad you popped in. It was crazy. The whispering show. And Rayan, I think he's replying to obviously Del J. I get what you're saying, but I think all because the greatest players of different eras were predecessors who are also great. So we reference them. I think that's the one. Yeah. Craig's put, Fran, what's your score prediction for the final? I'm going for England 2-1. Yeah, I'm going to go for England 2-1. I really am going to go for an England 2-1. 2-1 England. Right, we've been on here 53 minutes, so we're going to wrap it up in another 5 minutes. So try and get through everyone's questions. Now make sure you come along tonight because it's going to be a huge one over on Curtis's channel. If you've not followed me already on Twitter, make sure you do. It's Franny Green 6. Very easy. It's the only other platform that I am on. Chris has put, the problem with the greatest of all time is that we have subdivided into strikers, wingers, midfield defenders, and keepers. How good was Maradona in goal? Yeah, it is hard, isn't it? It's normally always attacking players that win it, though. Roy's put, people say era strikers would get kicked, dragged harder, stopped in scoring the 90s. Yeah, I mean, strikers now probably couldn't even really play back then. That's a solid team. Teams would catch strays. Like, yeah, listen, yeah, that would be a team and off. You read Marcus Aurelius. Yeah, Marcus Aurelius every day. So a lot of this book, Chris, is from Marcus Aurelius. Nearly all of his quotes are from even this one. Obstacle is the way is Marcus Aurelius. I'm trying to think what other ones I've got. They're all in my book, in my folder. I try and keep my books away. But yeah, Marcus Aurelius Meditations is probably my favorite book each morning. I love it. I know. I think you study philosophy. Did you study philosophy? I believe you studied in one stream. Let me put, will Newport ever win the Champions League? Because it's FIFA wants. That's what I've done. Newport, the Welsh team. Bang, bang. What do top footballers have that football fans take for granted or don't quite understand because the competition is so intense? The difference between, and this is one of the reasons why we did the YouTube channel, because these questions, this is what I like. The difference between people who have never been a footballer and footballer is you see the game in a completely different way. Fans see the game very different to the way footballers see the game. And obviously footballers are in it day in, day out. So they know the elements, the basics. Doesn't necessarily mean that fans don't know. Of course they do. We've got some great people in the chat. Chris always comes. Tony always comes with some great. Rayhan, even though he's very young, always comes with some very good points. But the difference is the mindset. I think a lot of fans forget that footballers are just the same as them. They have psychological issues. They have problems at home. They have temptations. They have addictions. They have those things that we all have every day. I had it. It was my downfall. My downfall was off the field. I had so much going on because of my bad decisions. And it affected me in my day-to-day work like it would if you went to an office. While you're training, while you're playing, you kind of forget about those problems. But as soon as you make a mistake, those problems come back. Those problems come back and then the rest of your game. So for me, I think fans need to understand that the players are exactly the same as any other human, and they are affected just as the same as any other human. As Curtis would say, it's going to be Scenes FC, people. I hope so. I really hope so. Buffon, Baresi, Maldini, Zidane, OG, Ronaldo. Yeah, that's a team. I think Buffon might struggle to get down, Roy. Baresi and Maldini. They won't play much, but they'll smash you. Rayan said, Lillian Rayan, book smart doesn't translate into life smart. Exactly. Very true. Even if you read, you then have to implement those skills because you can always read. I read this thing. I used to buy a lot of books. In the last 5 years, I've bought a lot of books. But actually, Think and Grow Rich is probably the one book that I would suggest you read once a month if you can, or once every 6 months, because it's the one book that has everything in it. But very, very good point. Rayan's very young, but he's very smart, everyone. He's very, very smart. But I would say that you get decent GCSE, so you have something to fall back on in case life hands you a hard set of cards. There you go. And it's not even that it lands you a hard set of cards. It's very easy to become an entrepreneur or work for yourself or whatever. It's very hard, you know? Would you go for Cucurella? Probably not. Probably not. I'm not sure he'd do well in England. Rayan, obviously, Naves Chowdy. What do you think about us going for Tavares? That's your. I think he'll do okay. He's great going forward, but defensive ability, one thing in question. He's young and can be coached in sole defender. I think he's good. Chris, yeah, philosophy, yes, for a year prior to me doing my first degree. Philosophy is really good. I love philosophy, Chris. I know you mentioned it. Vina, thanks for popping in. New one. Make sure you've hit the subscribe button if you already add in a new name. Love the comments. Messi needed that trophy real bad, Fran. He finally got that monkey off his back. Good vibes. 100%. He needed that, and you could see more than anyone on that pitch. Ryan just put, but 8 million is a good buy. Resale value, if they do well, would be good. Lose much on a project player like him. How important is a mentor to be a footballer? I used to be a high-level cricketer and athlete, didn't have a mentor and felt that affected me. For me, I think mentors and coaches should have passed the psychology degree. So I did a psychology degree after football. I think all mentors, all managers, all project managers, all bosses, anything should have a psychology degree because it is needed. It's the biggest problem in society and in sport. You need, you need someone to speak to. You can't speak to your friends, can't really speak to your parents, can't really speak to fellow footballers. You need someone to speak to and say, why am I feeling this way? What's this? How can I benefit that? And if you look at all the best footballers and all the best athletes and all the best coaches, I was reading something the other day, and Jeff Bezos has a coach for different areas in his life. A food coach, nutritionist, a mindset coach, a finance coach, a yoga coach, a Pilates coach. It's unbelievable what these people do for you. And I hope that I can obviously help you with regards to giving you those kind of information over here. But you still have to want to change. You have to want to put the work in, and you have to want to understand and the way that life works. So for me, Ryan, I think one of them, the youngest here, I'm only 18 and going to uni. I'm pregnant yet September. Ryan's very young. Having a sound personal philosophy and life experience are two best teachers. 100%. I mean, life for me has been my biggest teacher. Learning from close people not being very nice to me, learning from my own mistakes that have caused people to go away from me, losing people. What I have today, it's just wanting so much more, but also remaining very, very happy with what you have right at this minute. Even if you have nothing. I've been many times in my life, professional footballer, broke, spent everything, nothing, no properties, nothing, but I'm still happy every day, trying to be happy and realizing that life itself is the key. Life itself is the key. Tony sees, but players used to coach at schools midweek and people felt more connected to them. Those days have changed. Yeah, you don't see none of that, do you? You don't see none of that. The highest rated player Newport ever have had in 99 in FIFA, Basuna, FIFA. I've not played FIFA for years. Simon put Arsenal to swallow their pride and re-sign Martinez for 45 mil. Don't think that's going to happen. Smash the likes button, people. Subscribe if you haven't already. Let's get France channel up to with the best. Yeah, if we can get to 1,000 over the next couple of months, it will be magnificent for us all. Roy, motivation is the biggest key in life. If you get up and get out there, nothing just lands in your lap in from Council Estate in Brum. 100% motivation, but persistence. Continue persistence. Subscribed already. Love it, VNF. Consistent persistence. Nathan, salute to you, my fellow Brummy. Yeah, Nathan from Brummy. Big up Franny from Caps. Hope you're well. Hope you're well, mate. Hope you're doing really well. We're going to round it up soon. We just nipped over the hour. Rayan, I think it should be legal requirement that clubs should put players through professional therapy with an accredited therapist. Many young academy players crash due to no support. Oh, trust me, I know many footballers fail just because of that. I think it should be, yeah, big caps, big up, big caps. Nave's saying. Chris is saying, Rayan, make sure you stay away from radical leftist indoctrination that plagues over university these days. It's deep, but it's very true. Very true. My only advice is, listen, you live in a society that will always try and change you to be society. It's not normal to be an entrepreneur. It's not normal to not want to go out at 18. It's not normal to start trying to invest money at 18. It's not normal to not watch the news, not watch Coronation Street, EastEnders. It's not normal to read a book a month. It's not normal to meditate. It's not normal. However, they're the skills you need to live the best life. In my opinion. Bang bang. Any other socials we can follow in? Only on Twitter. I used to do Insta, but only on Twitter now. Bang bang. Appreciate that. It's just the bottom. Franny Green 06. Franny Green 06. Nace, long time. GG. Yep. You are underrated. I have not heard that for a long time. When Fran hits 1K, I'll buy a lucky subscriber a recommended book, Fran's choice. There you go. Even Rayan's going to buy someone a lucky one a book. Johnson Clark Harris has done spectacular. There's another one who sorted his head out and got his back on track. He lost his way a bit. Actually left Peterborough. Came back and done really well. Caps, I'm trying to progress, rude boy. Had to give YouTube a break for still on and that now, to be fair. You're good, bro. Nath, for me, Nath, and a lot of people that I speak to quickly on here, it's the outside world that is inside them. For me, change your feeds, change your environment, change your friends, and just narrow down on what you want to do and try and improve every day for me. Try and improve and don't worry about what people have got to say for you. Appreciate the heads up. I'm aware of it. He's aware of it. Lily, who would you have taken as our backup left back? Henry. I like Henry. If you're talking about Rico Henry, I think I'd have taken him. Yeah, man. Big up Nathan. Big in the fist. Here we go. Where are we now? Don't want to try not to miss a few, but apologies if I do. What is your opinion on Chelsea's growth over the last 25 years? It's unbelievable, but Man City's growth is even unbelievable. even more unbelievable, should I say. Respect, my bro, and likewise to you. Craig said, come on, England. Come on, England. That's what we want. Come on, England tonight. It's finally coming home. I don't think we ever had the Euros, but hey, we'll do it. 100% agree with you, Franny. Thanks ever so much. Dal J has put big up on a mention Archie's lack of diversity in the stream last night. Yeah, very strange. I think we'll have to do another one on that. Don't really know the history on why Argentinians don't have a lot of black players or any black players, even though it's South American. I think it's to do with the slave back in the slave trade, etc. Roy Moss, which side of Brum you from? Naif's asking. Rayan has put, Chris Garvey, appreciate it, bro. Take care. That's what I love about this community. We've got a lot of older heads and we've got a lot of younger heads. And that's what I love about this community. So I'm going to wrap it up, guys. Just check the last one. Vinicius and Felix are overrated. Felix has not really stepped up. Man City is a FIFA team. I'm convinced. Caps up the England tonight. Come on, we've got to be supporting England. Even if our heritage is not English, come on now. We've got to be supporting England. I'm born here, so I'm very English. But my father is obviously Jamaican. Best young player of the year, Pedri, was unreal in the Euros. Erdington sides, do you think Southgate would be in demand for Prem clubs? I think Southgate is very good at the international level because it's not a week in, week out job. So I'm not too sure. Argentina had a huge influx of Italians in the early 20s too, which had a massive knock-on effect. I think that's what it is, isn't it? Come on, England. Chris is saying, come on, England. We'll see you later on, pal. Roy Morris, yeah, fair play. Right, everyone. Another unbelievable stream. We're getting better and better each stream as a community. I absolutely love it. I love the fact that we talk about everyday life as well and mindset stuff. That could be something in the future that we speak about, a self-development podcast. You know, something like that. If that's something that you may be interested in, maybe we can do something about a self-development podcast where I just talk a lot of the time, if you like my voice, and every so often we get some guests on, which would be quite good. So let me know what you think about that. But much love to you all, just like Rayan. I really do appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of the day. Be prepared for tonight. If you are having a few bevies, be careful. Even the older fellas, Chris and Tony and Roy, be careful. I'm sure your wives will be telling you, or your partners. And I'll see you tonight over on Curtis's channel. But remember, make sure you follow me on Twitter and hit the subscribe button and the like button. And you take care, everyone. All love. See you later.